Before we start today's episode of the I'm F.I.N.E. podcast, we want to make sure to thank our partners at Trio. Don't wait, be ready, and connect with Trio today. FAFSA applications are now open, and the sooner you apply, the higher chances you have of receiving the full grant. Trio staff at Governor State University are the perfect people to help. Trio can help with the financial aid process and scholarship searches. Trio can provide fee waivers for admission applications, assist with the admission application processes, online tutoring, help with GED referrals, and provide payments for the GED test. Trio provides various avenues for career explorations, as well as resume and interview preparation, and Trio can also help you to understand and complete your FAFSA application. If you are ready to make the next step on your educational journey, contact Trio at 708-235-3352 for more information, or visit their website at www.govst.edu/TRIOEOC. Welcome to another episode of the I'm F.I.N.E. podcast, where a couple of knuckle dragon veterans unpack the world of mental health as unprofessionally and informally as possible. I am your host, Eric Peterson.
And I'm Brad Stosiek.
And today's episode is all about genuine positivity. We are going to define it, discuss its benefits and impact on mental health, talk about what toxic positivity is, what being positive means in the veteran space, share some personal insights and strategies, all with our friend and host of our Mental Health Monday shorts, Melanie McCummiskey. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey as we do our best to take you from being freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional to truly being fine about being genuinely positive.
Welcome to the I'm F.I.N.E. podcast with your freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional hosts, Eric Peterson and Brad Stosiek.
I'm questioning my breathing now.
Like you don't know if you're breathing or not?
Yeah.
So you got to think about it.
I do, yeah.
This entire episode, Brad is just going to be sitting there thinking about breathing.
Yep. Has that ever happened to you guys?
Never once.
Never once. Huh.
I've never, ever even heard of it, ever, before you. Oh. You're the first. Just make sure that you're breathing.
Yes.
And think about breathing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mel, thank you for being here again. It's been a little while.
It has been.
I didn't realize it's been a little while because you were, I think, the first guest that we had in the basement.
Yes.
Once we got the studio.
That's really creepy when you say it like that.
You were my first guest in the basement. There's a studio in the basement. It doesn't make it sound better when I try to explain it.
No,
it's like, there's a studio down there. There's cameras and lights. It's not creepy at all.
No.
When we talked about doing, moving the studio, and it took us forever to create one here. And then the second it was all done, Melanie was the first one here. So thank you again for being here.
Yes.
And thank you for doing those Mental Health Monday shorts. I really like those too.
They're fun.
So right when you guys got here, I told you guys this, but I need this episode today because I need genuine positivity in my life. I'm feeling a little burned out myself. Got a lot of stuff going on. You sent Brad all these different different ideas.
Yeah.
We were talking about different episodes, and you talked about doing one about being about the power of being positive. And I thought it was a really good idea.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good idea because I think there's a lot of bullshit out there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people that look at toxic positivity and don't realize that it's actually not necessarily a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought by talking about being positive for an episode would be good. I need this. So I really appreciate you guys being on here to talk about this stuff.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So before we get into it too far, we want to start out by just defining it. So according to webmd.com, positive thinking or an optimistic attitude is the practice of focusing on the good in any given situation. It can have a big impact on your physical and mental health. That does not mean that you ignore reality or make light of problems, which I think is really important to point out. It simply means that you approach the good and the bad in life with the expectation that things will go well. I like that definition of positivity. You know what I mean? Because it was a little bit more, I don't know, just deeper than what I thought it was going to be. I'm like, yeah, I definitely like that. And I like that it says that you don't make light of problems. You can still address that a problem is there, but you're still looking at it in a positive light, you know?
Yep.
So with that too, the other side of that is toxic positivity. So I didn't really realize that toxic positivity was a thing until I was looking up stuff for this episode. Like I knew what they were talking about. I just didn't know that it had a name. So I thought that this was pretty interesting. So this is according to verywellmind.com. So toxic positivity can take a wide variety of forms. Some examples you may have encountered in your own life include examples like this. So when something bad happens, like losing your job or something like that, and people say, just stay positive. Just look on the bright side. Like I think about that poster with the cat.
Yes.
We're just hanging
in
around.
there.
Yeah.
Just hang in there. Like you lost your job. Oh gosh, don't worry. It'll be all right. You know what I mean? Like saying things like that.
People told me that. Well, at least you're not totally blind.
Oh my God. And you're like 98.5%.
In my right
fucking
eye.
blind.
And like 95 in my right eye and like 89, 90 in my left eye. But yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, at least you're not totally blind.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah. So comments like that are often meant to be sympathetic.
Yeah.
But while that's the case, they can still shut down anything the other person might want to say about what they're actually experiencing. So yeah, it seems like it's kind of like putting up a brick wall. Yeah. And whatever somebody's feeling or whatever their experience is. After experiencing some type of loss, people might say that everything happens for a reason. I fucking hate that one.
Yeah.
I do. I do hate that one.
Yeah. You just make them uncomfortable and you look at me like, well, what's the reason? What is it?
Like, oh, really? Like, I'm just going to punch you in the forehead and be like, everything happens for a reason. Give me your wallet. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
it's not fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, while people making these statements believe that they're comforting, it's also a way to kind of avoid the pain of the situation and avoid just talking about it. Like, I would rather have you just say, I'm sorry, that sucks. Like it just, that what you're dealing with really sucks. And I'm sorry you're going through that.
Yeah.
I would rather hear that than everything happens for a reason. It's like, that maybe worked up until the point that I was like, I don't know, could watch the news.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm old enough to do that, I'm like, everything happens for a reason. Maybe, but it doesn't have to be a fucking good reason. It could be a terrible reason.
And then you question, like, why?
You know,
Right? Like, why did this happen?
Right. Yeah. So I definitely agree with that being like a toxic positive trait. And then the next one says, upon expressing disappointment or sadness, someone may respond that happiness is a choice. That suggests that if somebody is feeling negative emotions, it's their own fault or not choosing to be happy. So I feel like whenever you're doing anything that's just planting little seeds of guilt in someone's head, I think that's like one of the worst fucking things you can do.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's just going to grow and grow and grow and just destroy. Sometimes these statements are well-intentioned or come from a good place, but are very poorly worded. So in other words, people just don't know what to say and don't know how to be empathetic. But it's still important to recognize that it can be pretty harmful. Too much positivity is also toxic because it can harm people who are going through difficult times. Rather than being able to share genuine human emotions and gain unconditional support, people who are faced with toxic positivity find their feelings dismissed, ignored, or outright invalidated. Because it's like you're not even accepting it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just shutting them down for whatever they're feeling or whatever terrible thing that they're going through. You're just like, that sucks. Well, not even. You're not even saying that. You're saying be positive. You're saying happiness is a choice. Like if somebody would have said that to you, like the day after, I would have, if I were you, I would have just fucking knocked him out.
Yeah. But you have to think.
I would have lost it.
Yeah. But you have to think like it is toxic positivity, but it's still kind of like, if you look at it from, they don't know what to say.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right. You're right.
And they just don't know how, because it's not like, take me, for example, not a lot of people have not met or encountered a visually impaired or blind person in their life until me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So people don't know how to act and they think, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just too much. I don't know.
But what's cool is you've been around so many people now.
Yeah.
That I feel like people are understanding.
That or they're questioning.
Yeah, but that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
When before we started this, you were like, I just want other people to like sort of understand what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
And like now more people are doing that. And you know what? Gosh darn it. That's positive.
That
is.
Boom. Brought it back. So here's some other issues with toxic positivity. So one is that it's shaming. So receiving toxic positivity can lead to feelings of shame. It tells people that the emotions they're feeling are not acceptable. If somebody's suffering, they need to know that their emotions are valid and they can find relief and love in their friends and family. Oh, that was a great explanation. Next one, it causes guilt. Again, guilt, I just feel like is one of the most detrimental things. Being toxically positive can also cause feelings of guilt. It sends a message that if you're not finding a way to feel positive, even in the face of tragedy, that you're doing something wrong. Next one, it avoids authentic human emotion. Toxic positivity functions as an avoidance mechanism. So when people engage in this type of behavior, it allows them to sidestep emotional situations that make them feel uncomfortable. Sometimes we turn these same ideas on ourselves, internalizing them. Then we feel difficult emotions. When we feel those difficult emotions, we discount, dismiss, and then completely deny them. And then the last one is it prevents growth. So toxic positivity allows us to avoid feelings that might be painful. The last one is that it prevents growth. So toxic positivity allows us to avoid feeling things that might be painful. But this denies us the ability to face challenging feelings that can ultimately lead to growth and deeper insight. Like, you got to go, like we've all lost a parent. We've talked about that before. It does something to you. Mm-hmm. It changes things. The world is forever changed.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it can't go back. It just can't. That's not how it works. But you can't, like, I feel like I've grown because of it. Do you guys feel the same?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like you were talking earlier about like the positivity. And I remember being at like my mom's funeral and like all like you're going to get through this, blah, blah, blah. And then the one person that came by and was like, this fucking sucks. And I was like, yes, thank you for saying that.
God. Yeah. Because again, what does it mean when people say it makes your emotions, it makes you feel validated? Like that's validation. You're like, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me know that the way that I feel right now is okay and not guilting me for it.
And that's what I wanted the entire time, but nobody knew how to do that. Mm-hmm. They always tried to find ways to like not compare, but like try to think of something that could be just as bad as losing your vision. And I was like, you don't have to do that. Just tell me that it sucks.
Is that kind of like when people don't have kids, but they have dogs and they tell you like, I don't have kids, but I have dogs. And you kind of want to be like, go fuck yourself.
Kind of. Like the worst.
I understand some dogs are difficult. But
the one I hate the most when people are like, oh, well, if I don't have my glasses on, I'm totally blind.
It's like, listen, Dick.
Bro, put them on. Put them on. Like, hey, look, you can see now.
You know what? On, off, totally blind either way, man.
Regardless.
So, hey, glass should be half full with you.
Man, it's great.
Yeah, I definitely. But again, the one important thing that you brought up is the hardest thing to remember is that I think most of the time it doesn't come from a place of malice or whatever. That person's usually not trying to make you feel bad. They just didn't know how to talk to you about it and didn't know how to address the uncomfortable situation. And so instead they try to make it positive in hopes that it's going to help you out. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's easy to fucking forget that.
I mean, this is horrible comparison though.
What?
Put your glasses on, that's it.
Yeah. Well, no, that would hurt. For sure. Yeah. And that would be very difficult for me to deal with in that same situation. So yeah, I mean, I don't understand, but again, I can see why that sucks. Yep. You know what I mean? So again, that positive vibes only type mantra can be particularly grating during intense personal distress when people are coping with situations such as financial troubles, job loss, illness, loss of a loved one. Being told that they need to look on the bright side can seem cruel. It's like, yeah, like I told you, I work as a veteran service officer. So I work with the homeless veteran population. I work with the veteran population, period. But recently I've been working more with the homeless veteran population. And you're dealing with all of these other organizations and you're talking to some of these veterans, and not even with this demographic, but a lot of veterans in general. They've been through something really traumatic. In service, before service, after service. Like they went through a lot of stuff. And there are times when the things that they went through were completely out of their control. So to tell somebody like that you just need to look on the bright side, it's hard for that to not almost seem condescending. It's like, how dare, have you never experienced anything that was so bad that that would completely nullify that toxic positivity in your head forever? You know what I mean? Like, again, when I think about the loss of my mom, I feel like I'm always like one sentence away from just like, I could make myself cry if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you're so close to that. You know what I mean? So to just say that, I definitely understood. And I never liked toxic positivity. And you definitely feel, I don't know, when people are doing it, not necessarily doing it from like a passive aggressive type way, but I have met plenty of people that were like toxically positive, and it came from a bad place too. Like they were meaning to be passive aggressive. And that's arguably worse than just aggressive. I would rather have somebody just like push me and yell at me and want to like punch me in the face than like being super passive aggressive about it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that was pretty much a good look at toxic positivity. So now talking about actual positivity, there are plenty of benefits. Like, no shit. You know what I mean? Like, it would be crazy if it was only negative side effects. It's like, hey, Brad, you look great. And then all of a sudden, like, I break out in rashes or some shit. And then, and you try to help me and something like, I don't know. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of positive benefits. Some of those benefits, according to an article on mayoclinic.org, include increased lifespan. Like, what? Pretty solid benefit in increasing your fucking lifespan, lower rates of depression, lower levels of distress and pain, greater resistance to illnesses. Like what I'm talking about, it sounds like a fucking radioactive spider bite. It sounds like it turns you into a superhero. Increased lifespan, lower rates of depression, distress, pain, greater resistance to illness, better psychological and physical well-being, better cardiovascular health and reduced risk of death from cardiovascular disease and stroke, reduced risk of death from cancer, respiratory conditions, infections, and better coping skills during hardship and time of stress. So essentially, dude, it makes you Wolverine. Like it turns you into a superhero, just fucking being positive.
Yep. Studies have shown that it helps build your immune system. Like it's got all these positive effects on your body. It's crazy. It's
crazy because it's not a pill. Like just don't be a dick and you'll feel better. Like just don't be a dick. And so it's incredible to me and amazing. Again, just like in the last few episodes, we talked about forgiveness and all this other stuff. All of these things that you can do right now, wherever you are, that will literally improve your life physically and mentally.
Yes.
So you can do it. You know what I mean?
It's very easy. It's not very easy. I take that back. It's not very easy.
Yeah.
But it's doable.
Yeah, definitely doable.
It's doable.
It's incremental improvements. So it's unclear why people who engage in positive thinking experience all these benefits. According to that same article, one theory is that having a positive outlook enables you to cope better with stressful situations, which reduces the harmful health effects of stress on your body, which we talked about before on multiple episodes, like the negative chemicals and everything that release in your body when you're going through stress for like prolonged periods of time. It's also thought that positive and optimistic people tend to live healthier lifestyles. They get more physical activity, follow a healthier diet, don't smoke or drink alcohol in excess. According to that article on webmd.com, when people in one study were exposed to the flu and common cold, those with a positive outlook were less likely to get sick and reported fewer symptoms. Another study had women who were optimistic, and it showed that they were less likely to die from cancer, heart disease, stroke, respiratory disease, and infection. And in a study of people over the age of 50, those who had more positive thoughts about aging lived longer. In another experiment, adults who meditated daily on positive thoughts started feeling more upbeat emotions each day. Again, no shit. Like if every day you're just like, you know what, you're a pretty good person, you're funny, you're blah, blah, blah. If you say that long enough, you're going to be like, you know what, I'm not a bad person. You know what I mean? Like if you say positive shit to yourself, eventually you're going to start believing positive shit.
That's what I did.
Yeah. I've been doing that for the last month.
Yeah.
Really focusing every morning on waking up and being like, I'm going to crush it today. Like,
Yeah.
Here's all the good, like the positive affirmations towards yourself and just being like, okay, positive.
It feels good, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. It feels good. And even if things go wrong, it's like less detrimental than if you go into things with a negative attitude. So
I felt really weird giving myself positive affirmations.
oh yeah, it's super awkward.
It feels so weird, especially at first, because it's like, I just feel super lame. Like, I don't know how to like give myself a positive affirmation. You know, the only experience I had was Eminem and 8 Mile, you know, where he just fucking puts his hands down in the sink. He just stares. You got one moment, you know what I mean? And I say that every day to myself in the morning, just like, you know what I mean? But honestly, I had a really hard time.
Yeah.
Like giving yourself compliments.
Really?
I had a hard time with that.
You know, I started with positive affirmations, right?
Yeah,
so I started, like, I wasn't just like, I love me. I'm so beautiful and awesome.
Yeah.
I started with like, I am someone who makes healthy food choices.
Yeah.
And I started with that. And then it wasn't so awkward.
You're stepping into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
That's like before you start giving yourself positive affirmations on like who you are as a person, you're starting out with like tasks. Like, I prefer healthier foods.
Yeah. Or like
you're saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then like with positivity though, I would be like, I am someone who loves myself.
Yeah. Oh my God. Telling yourself you love yourself. Holy shit.
Man.
I feel like that's something that nobody ever really talks about, but something you like, I think for sure need to do.
Yeah.
Like every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like remind yourself that you love yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know if I shared it here, but one of the veterans that I was working with in the past, he is like a macho dude. He's an alpha type of dude. And I told him I loved him and he cried. Cause like he just had never, I don't know, he didn't know when the last time he heard that was. And so now I make sure I tell him all the fucking time. Cause it's like, yeah, so you gotta fucking tell yourself you love yourself.
Yeah.
Super important.
Absolutely.
So on the veteran side of things now, so how important was being positive to you guys when you were in the military? Like whether it was with morale or just being positive in general. Like, what do you think?
I think just joking around got us like through day to day, like having like a funny, lighthearted, joking environment.
You have to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we've talked about that before, but like having a sense of humor when you're in the military, I think is like fucking vital.
Yeah.
And that's in the community that I was in. I don't know what the special operations dudes do. I just assume it's like all Jocko Willinks and like they're fucking getting it, man. But in the infantry, they're doing some dumb shit. Like it's a lot of fuck games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's in every MOS. I don't think it matters what MOS you're in.
Yeah.
You're playing games.
Just not taking yourself seriously. Like,
No.
like, dude. And the thing is that one thing that I really pride myself in genuinely is I've always cared a lot about like group morale. Like I've always cared about that. And when I was in the military, like I was known for fucking playing pranks and doing all that dumb shit because we were in Afghanistan and I wanted to make my guys laugh because there were a billion reasons to fucking not laugh. You know what I mean? So like we would do shit. We worked with the Afghan National Police because we shared a base with them. And they said it was a mountain goat, but this motherfucker was a ram. Like this thing had the horns and everything. And they were going to cook it and eat it that night. And we asked them if we could borrow it. They let us borrow it. We brought it. We were staying, our barracks on this fob were just like long rectangular buildings. It was just one long building with a bunch of 2-bedroom units on each side, right? And it was just concrete. So we get in and it's like 9:00 at night and our first sergeant is working out in the gym, which is outside of this building. So we grab the fucking ram. We bring him all the way down the hall. We tie him to the first sergeant's door. Now, we did this because we thought he was in the room, did not know that he was not in the room. But the best part about it was we left it, we took off running, and then it shit everywhere. and the Air Force had to clean it up. And that was the best part because we never got caught. We would do shit like that. And obviously I had help, but like it was so important to be positive in environments like that. Like, and that's what so many people don't understand. And I think that one of the biggest ways to understand the veteran community is to understand how primal our, at least the veterans that I know, our sense of humor is. Because that's what it is. I would call it primal, because it's just like you can laugh about anything because death was right there and you knew it was right there. Death is right there with us all the time, by the way. But just when you're in the military, you really realize that shit. So you can laugh and make jokes about anything. You know what I mean? Like it was so important to me all the time. How do you think that being a veteran affects your abilities to be positive? What do you think?
Are you asking me?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Don't you know that I'm looking at you?
Yeah, Brad,
I
we're
was
both
looking at
staring
you
at you.
pensively.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't even feel me looking at you pensively?
No, I don't even know what that word means.
It's very pensive. It means like if I was holding pens.
Oh,
That's what it means. Go ahead. Continue.
well, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
How do you think being a veteran affects your ability to be positive? Does it have any impact at all? Or were you always just a positive dude?
No, I think it has a big effect on it. You have to get past the barrier that you're human, you know, because in the military, you're just a number. You go from being human to being a number.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I kind of saw it.
Yeah.
And then you get out and you expect everything to be the way it was, but you're so far apart from all your boys that it's just like, how do you get that connection again, that brotherhood? And so, yeah, I think you have to get past that barrier and like realize that you're not a number, you're a person. Like you still have people that love you. This is how people are supposed to act around other people.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Well, that was at least for me anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it affected, I don't know. I remember not just the military, but just when I was a contractor, you know, the first time my mom got cancer, I was overseas. I was with the DOD in Afghanistan, and like in environments like that, no matter, even if it's not necessarily positive, like I had to develop an ability to compartmentalize. I had to, because when I was going through negative things in my personal life and I'm overseas running missions like every day, whatever the missions are, you know, like security, mostly always security. But like, if I let that negative stuff affect my job, then I might not come home, or worse, the guys to my left and right aren't going to come home. And that's worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be able to compartmentalize. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Being positive for me has been a way for me to not have to compartmentalize as much, because I do feel like I'm actively dealing with it, even if it's not favorable, even if it's not good. You know what I mean? I don't know. How important do you guys think positivity is in transitioning to civilian life, which is kind of what we were just talking about? But
I think it's really important. I think it's really important to be able to like just carry that across environments and, you know, exposures and where you are in life, just trying to have that positive mindset day to day, just because, again, we've talked about like all the positive health benefits and mindset benefits. And it's really important when you're transitioning from one part of life into another to like have that positive outlook on how things are going to be.
Well, and on the professional side, I mean, this has to be something that I would imagine you preach quite a bit, like just because, I don't know, it's free and it's accessible.
Yeah.
Like anybody can do it and anybody can practice it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. But some people, it's really hard for them to get there because they've never done that before. Like they grew up in environments where there was no positive language used. So they don't even know like where to start on developing that internal monologue.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's like you're a product of your environment. And so you don't know what's normal. You know, your normal is normal, but your normal might not be other people's normal. And maybe your normal was nobody ever said that they loved you or nobody ever expressed their love to you ever.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Well,
I mean,
people deal with it.
I know
a lot of people, it happens to a lot of people.
I know.
You know what I mean? Or just, yeah. So how would you even be able to step out of that? You know what I mean? If that's what you were used to your entire life. As far as your personal experiences and stories, what would you say, like, any of the most prominent times in your life where positivity did something for you, helped you? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it.
So I think for me, what really sticks out is the week after my mom passed, and I was back at Fort Benning at that point in time, and we had gone somewhere because one of my buddies was having like some get together, and I had to leave because I just got overwhelmed. You know, it's hard to get readjusted to life after that big of a loss. And I remember my buddy Coppage was driving around, and we were listening to music, and it was like really sad music. I'm sad, I'm crying, and he's just making like the most inappropriate jokes about white people. And I really appreciated him so much in that moment because it was one of my lowest moments, and he was just right there, just spitfiring with the comedy, and like I appreciated that positivity like
Why do you think that
tenfold
is?
in that moment.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's just because when you're that low and you're that sad, there feels like no escape. And so to hear this like comical voice that you're comfortable with over here, making these like jokes and trying to make you laugh, and like it's thinking in your head like, oh, they care enough to do that to try and bring me out of this. So I think it's just helpful.
That's really, that was very well said.
Yeah.
I also think it's just because when someone doesn't, like, you already feel like this is like the worst moment of my life or whatever the case may be. And if they make it seem like nothing changed, then it like the act of that makes you feel better, because it makes me feel better, because I'm like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, because it's not like you just stopped everything and just started freaking out or something like that. Like you just went on about making jokes and shit. Like, and that's super,
I appreciated that, because not a lot of people are willing to do that, because again, they want to walk on eggshells. They don't know what to say. So for someone to just be like, no, I'm going to be, you know, the same that I always would be around you in this moment, maybe even try to be funnier. Like I appreciated that.
I almost always crack jokes at times where I'm like, it's probably isn't appropriate. Like,
totally
when
inappropriate.
I'm dealing with somebody and they're in a bad spot, and I'll fucking crack a joke. But that also, for people at least that I know well, if I crack a joke, their response really lets me know of how bad things are.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes they're in a bad spot, but I'll crack a joke and then I feel like I'll get them back. Like they laugh a little bit and we start laughing at the absurdity of the situation or whatever. But then there's those times where they're just like stone faced and you're like, oh shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's how I know. What about you, Brad?
I'm going to say just like being around fat, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you guys, like Melanie just said, nobody treated me like I was a blind person.
Oh.
Yeah,
You guys
make
all
fucking fun of you all the time.
and they don't even know me. Like that. The instructor, like comparing me to a blind dog. Like, come on.
Oh, Veronica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Veronica, Toma Center. Who taught her mental health and first aid class. And like didn't realize what she was getting into. Like I told her and she was like, I know how to deal with veterans. And I was like, okay. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Come with me. But she did awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but nobody, not one time in the FAT organization has ever been like judgmental or said anything or like questioned anything. I mean, like you guys question me all the time now, but
not in a condescending way.
No.
Like a real hurtful way.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like, dude, and again, I always think about like what I needed on my worst days. And I just needed people to just make me feel like I belonged and that I was fine. And it's not super hard to do.
No.
Like it feels a little hard, but really it requires way less energy than most other things. You just let people do whatever the fuck they're doing and you don't judge them for it as long as it's not hurting themselves or other people. It's like, whatever, I don't care, you know? And I've had people share, like I've had friends come out to me and I was like the first person they came out to. And I never made a big deal. I was like, all right, man, are you still a Cubs fan? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, I knew this shit, you know what I mean? But it's nice when somebody can share something that's super vulnerable, like that they are really anxious about sharing, and they can share that with you because you make them feel that fucking comfortable. Yep. Like, all you got to do is just not fucking freak out about it. You know what I mean? Just let them be whatever they are. Let everybody be whatever they are. And then I think the other thing with you, Brad, again, was just the mindset that you took, again, after losing your fucking vision. You know what I mean? Like, you had to get yourself out of that. Yeah. And positivity had to have been such a big part of that, which is why you started doing things for yourself. You know what I mean? To build that and to continue that positive self-talk, which I think is super important. For me, the biggest one is for sure, again, like after my mom died, you know, again, it's like 2 years ago, fucking feels like it was yesterday. And that, like, I couldn't, like, life was a blur in the days before and after my mom died. I just didn't know what was happening around me. Like, I was like Adam Sandler in Click, where he's on cruise control or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I was just somehow making my way through life. And I was almost like emotionless for a while. Like, you will go through all those phases, right? The phases, stages of grief and stuff. But like, I managed to find myself in, like, I fell into a YouTube hole and I started pulling up Norm Macdonald bits. And I love Norm Macdonald. And it was his bits on Conan and all this other shit. And they were so funny. And days after losing my mom, I was able, like, I caught myself laughing. And I felt guilty about it at first. I felt super guilty that I was feeling something positive. I was like, I'm not supposed to feel something positive. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to navigate through that. And then I realized, because in my mind, I was like, oh, if I feel something positive, I'm not honoring the death of one of the most important people in my fucking life. I'm supposed to feel like shit all the time. So I wouldn't even allow myself to be positive until I found that. And then I started laughing and I realized it was okay to laugh. And then I could still have those feelings, because even though I laugh, it doesn't make the pain go away. Like I said, I can go back to that in a second, but at least it allows me to be positive without feeling guilty about it. And I just think that's really, really important. What were your guys' best coping mechanisms and strategies for staying positive?
I do a lot of deep breathing. Yeah. When things are stressful, like just taking that moment to breathe deep and point out, like, one positive that exists in this current situation. Because even if there's 100 bad things happening right now, what's the one positive?
I love that for two reasons. One, because it's just genuinely a good idea. Two, because it's also funny. Like, it can also be funny. Like, all I think about is in Talladega Nights, when it was the scene where, like, everything went wrong with the car. It was told towards the end of the movie, and that one redhead dude was just like, well, there's still some things to be positive about. And he goes, we're still great friends. When people say that. So when I used to work for CertaPro, and if you ever see Rob, the owner, and you ask him this, anytime something bad happened at work, I would call him and I would be like, all right, I got good news and I got bad news. I would always say that. And the good news would be like, it's a beautiful day out. Like, Bears might do okay, you know, this year. Like, it would be something fucking stupid. And then the bad news would be something like significant. But by cracking that joke before saying what the bad news was, I feel like it made it easier to deal with. You know what I mean? Because you're already, like, feeling a little bit better. You're feeling a little bit more positive going into it. So I think it makes that difficult thing easier to tackle, because you're going into it with a positive mindset when you laugh and you catch yourself laughing, you know? Yeah. So some other things, simple daily habits, like we talked about: gratitude journaling, positive affirmations, and mindfulness. Positive affirmations, I think, is the best one. I would have a hard time journaling, me personally. And then the mindfulness thing, I don't know. I guess it's something I could also work on.
I think that one's huge. That's because that's what I do.
What do you do?
Well, so I had two things for positivity. I do, like, meditations, and then practicing living right now. Because if you're right now, there's nothing to be mad about.
Yeah.
Unless you're like on fire
Yeah.
or like getting shot at or something
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
What is there to be mad about?
That.
You know what I mean?
And there was another thing that I think it was like a TikTok or something I saw, but a guy just said, and I can't remember who it was, but he just said, like, imagine when you are with your kids and they're overwhelming you and you're tired and you're exhausted and you're annoyed and whatever else. Imagine that you aged, like, imagine that this is 60 years in the future. Okay. You're 60 years older than you are right now. You are probably old. You can't do anything, sitting around. What are you thinking about? And then somebody gives you a time machine, and they give you a time machine and you get to hop in it. You're like 80, 90, however old you are. And you get to go back to the moment you're in right now. Would you still feel the way that you still feel? And I've done that. And there's some times where I'm like, I need a fucking break from these kids, no matter what. No matter what. But
said every parent ever.
Would you get in a time machine if afforded the opportunity? Would you get in it?
it depends on when we're talking. Are we saying right now or
Just
when I'm like
at
90?
any point in time, you would get in a time machine.
I think after 65 years old, once I know that my family's good, at that point, I definitely would, because I'm like, fuck it at this point. Like, I wouldn't care so much. Okay. But at this, I don't think I would at this point, just because, I don't know. I don't want it to be like a Jeff Goldblum situation fly. You know what I mean? Like, I got too many concerns. Okay. Why would you?
Absolutely not. At no point in time ever. Never.
Not even if
I've
you're like
seen
95.
way too many movies where that goes wrong. You don't mess with time. I've seen all the Marvel movies. We know what happens when you mess with the multiverse. I'm not doing any of it. No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, what's the book? I think it's called The Time Machine, where he like goes.
I forget the author of that book.
This
book.
Yeah. And he like meets the weird alien people, and then he goes all the way to the end of time, and it's like giant crabs, and it's like, why would you? And then people just like forget him.
Yeah.
Because he's like stuck in time.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, as long as if I was at a point in life where I really wasn't afraid of death, then I think I would take the risk to try it. You know what I mean? But up until that point, I don't think I would. But The Time Machine was also a great book and movie. There was like 2 movies, I think, that I was done with that. Anyway, do you guys have any other daily habits that help you guys foster positive mindsets? So Mel mentioned like the positive affirmations and the deep breathing. What other daily habits do you guys have that help you be positive?
Yeah, that's the living in the right now. That's what I was.
Being mindful.
Yeah, like being mindful.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm not so mindful. See,
God damn it.
Jake,
Brad.
cut this out, dude. This is
the worst episode about being fucking positive. You all right? Are you breathing?
I'm good. I'm breathing. I'm just embarrassed now because it was a stupid joke and you guys, it didn't land, and I laughed, but nobody else did.
Everybody laughed. We just were quiet about it.
It was
Thanks.
a very fun
You're welcome.
laugh. I try to crack jokes daily. Like, I definitely intentionally try and make light of situations. So
always.
Yep.
Yeah, I will always do that. That's why I feel like I would have been such a good drill sergeant.
I sing.
It's hard not to be positive when you sing, depending on what you're singing.
So I sing like songs, but I like change the words to make it fitting to whatever the situation. Like if I'm making breakfast for my kids or something, I'll just like
sing song.
Yeah. Or like something to Amanda. I'll tell like how much I love her in the dumbest ways. And it always ends up with like,
that's cool. That's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. That's great. I think that's a great thing to do because not only does it make you feel positive, but it makes your family feel positive. And I also feel like the dad, like with dad jokes, I think part of that and just being stupid and silly makes people feel safer and more comfortable. I think just laughing and cracking and being able to laugh at yourself like you're doing in that. No, I definitely think that's super positive. And
I've said this before, but I make sure to always be like overly lovey-dovey to Amanda in front of the kids so they know what a positive relationship looks like between
that's important.
Super important.
Between parents.
Again, like we said, like your normal is your normal. No. So it's based on your environment. You're giving them a very positive environment by letting them see positive things. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly watch, I have a lot of positive music and videos and things like that I'll watch from time to time. It's hard for me to watch a lot of the motivational type stuff because I feel like it's almost like borderline toxic positivity to me. Like it doesn't seem genuine. So I have a hard time with that. But like I'll listen to positive shit. I always have been into stand-up comedy because I love laughing. So I love watching stand-up comics, and I try to do all those other things. And I guess I am trying to work on the positive affirmations. So I think I'm doing okay.
What are some of the ones you use? Because Brad talked about his earlier. What are your positive affirmations you tell yourself?
I tell myself I love myself.
Okay.
I tell myself that I'm a good dad, that I'm a good husband, that I'm a good friend, that I'm doing good work. That's really it.
You should add you have a voice as smooth as butter.
Thank you, Brad.
Should be one of those.
Appreciate that.
Should be one of those late night like, hey ladies.
When I was with the DOD, I told you it was like Brits and us and Kiwis and all these other guys, all these other countries. The Brits all called, not all of them, but a couple of them called me Dr. J because I would be on the radio and it'd be like Falcon 27, Falcon 27. And they would call me Dr. J. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I don't know what that means, but whatever you say. Again, another thing that falls in line with those daily practices, setting realistic goals, celebrating small victories. Like you don't have to make a huge deal about it, but you need to acknowledge when you did something positive, regardless of how big or small it is. And you really notice, I think you notice that a lot in people. Like I notice it a lot when someone really demeans themselves and whatever it is that they accomplished. Like, well, I just did this. And they make it sound like it's not a big deal because they're comparing it to other people or whatever the case may be. But that's so unfair. You know what I mean? Like you got to celebrate whatever that victory is, because as small as it might seem to you, it could be huge to somebody else. And maybe it is huge to you. You know what I mean? Why are you smiling?
Because I think about all the clients that I work with that say that, and I'm like, okay, repeat, but now take the word just out of it. Like I did the thing, and like we make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You should be really excited about that type of stuff and celebrate that. So I think that's really important.
Yep.
Another important thing to do is to build a supportive environment, which involves surrounding yourself with positive influences, supportive friends, content, and then avoiding negative and toxic environments. That is something that I didn't understand in my 20s for sure.
Yes.
This is me. But now, like in my mid 30s, hard stop. Like I feel like I'm better at avoiding negative and toxic environments.
I feel like I just learned that. I just turned 30, unlike you, old timers.
Oh, here we go again.
Timers. Yeah. Ice Cube is strictly an actor to Brad.
No, come on.
Yeah. You're saying? That you just learned how to avoid negative and toxic environments now?
Yeah, because I turned 30. So I'm like older and wiser now.
Yeah.
I'm
it comes with your old
beyond my
age.
years.
I think that like if I even pick up on something that I really feel like, usually I'll give a person or an environment the benefit of the doubt. And then I'll usually try like one more time or something along those lines. And like if I still get that negative toxic vibe, then I don't want to make it sound negative by saying building walls, but I start setting firmer boundaries for myself, between myself and that negative toxic environment, because I know what I'm going to get into the more I go down this road. And I know it's not going to work out well for me or my mental health or whatever the case may be. So if I think something's going to be negative, I just shut that shit down. I feel like I shut that shit down. You know what I mean? What about you guys? Are you guys good at avoiding negative and toxic environments?
I feel like my boundaries are strong and firm, where I'm not going to give it more than like, they're probably too strong, like 5 seconds. And I'm like, out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even going to entertain it.
Yeah. No, I get that. What about you?
A lot of times I only put myself in positive situations. I don't really put myself in negative, because I try not to.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. And
I get what you're saying.
And a lot of the times I really don't have a choice. I just get in the car and wherever people take me, that's where I go.
You have no choice in your environment, Brad.
And like luckily for me, it's like you guys picking me up. So you're like, I get to go to cool places and hang out with cool people. So
I appreciate that.
I'm all right.
Well, like you said, avoid, like you don't. So you are avoiding negative and toxic environments because you just steer clear of them.
Yeah. Just, I don't even see them.
But an important thing with that is like, I know alcoholics that will not go into a bar because they know that that's bad for me. That's toxic. That's negative. So I'm not even going to go in there. And I totally respect that. I'm like, good for you for understanding something that triggers you, and you have a boundary, and you know that that's negative and toxic for you, even though it might not be for other people. And so you just choose to distance yourself for it. That is growth. Like you see somebody that does something like that, has that much strength, and I'm like, that is a mature person to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
I think I learned to avoid negative situations because I was a very, very negative person. In my 20s. I was so negative. It got to the point where I would call my mom and she didn't want to answer her phone because she didn't want to talk to me. Because I was so negative.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard.
So I know what it's like to be a negative person, and people don't want to be around a negative person. So why not be happy and positive? And
Who are your guys' supportive environments now? Like, what is your supportive environment? Family, friends?
Family. Fat fam.
Yep.
Woo woo.
Fuck yeah.
Amanda, the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, goofy with the kids. I love my favorite thing. I think that's my biggest. Just when I get to be a kid and when I'm playing with my kids. I think that is my biggest like positive, happy moment. Oh
yeah. Yeah. I love playing with my kids, and it's definitely a positive moment. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. That could be anything.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
dude,
I would definitely agree.
You ever played Pretty Pretty Princess?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, bro.
Freaking own that. Crush that game.
Barbie, tea parties. All that shit. I'm about it, man. I love it. I do love it, though. It's great because you're just creating this memory with your kids. And, they're going to remember it forever. So, again, it's like you don't give a shit what you look like. You know what I mean? Like, I just care if my kids are happy or not.
Dude, I get both. I get to be like Barbie, Pretty Pretty Princess, and then get to play like Super Smash Bros. And Mario Party with Gavin.
That's cool. So, that's pretty badass. My kids aren't at the level yet with video games, but they're just starting to get there.
Nice.
And it's super fun to watch them start to figure that stuff out too. You know what I mean? What about you, Mel? What is your supportive environment?
I think, definitely my kids. Obviously they're older. I've got teenagers, and then that family definitely is a big, big part of it. And then I think about like my best friend in Wisconsin. She's huge. Yeah. So like, I'm fortunate to just have like a lot of friends that are really integral to that part of my life.
Well, and your supportive environment doesn't have to be people that live right by you.
Nor family.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It can be people that live far away. Yep. I have a lot of close friends that I was in either the military, State Department, or DOD with, and they live, somewhere across the country or the world. Mm-hmm. And they're still my supportive environment if I need somebody.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which is really beneficial. And the one thing that I love, and we've seen this happen countless times, I think now, but within Project Headspace and Timing, Fat Family, a veteran within reaches out for help because they're not doing good. And then they just get like not swarmed, but like other people respond.
Yeah.
Other people are like, oh, you're not doing, what do you need? Do you want me to come over? Do you need your lawn mowed? Do you need some food? Do you want to just hang out and bitch about stuff? Like people just jump at it. And then other people, and not only is that cool, but then people that are outside of that relationship see what's happening. And then they're like, wow, that's amazing. Just watching people care about somebody else is like that amazing of a thing to witness.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And it's incredible to see, especially within fat people, doing it on days where like someone's really struggling and someone else in the group can be at like a 4 and they're not doing great, but like they'll use that 30% they have in them to help that other person. And I love seeing that. Yep. Like,
holy shit.
It's so cool. Because it's so cool to see.
Because none of us care about us. We all care about each other, but we don't care about us.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it was drilled into us. Take care of your brothers and sisters to the left and the right of you. And we still do it.
Yep.
There was a fucking peer support group that Melanie and I were in. And obviously I'm not going to share names or any of that other shit. Okay. But Mel and I were in there, and we had a vet in there that was struggling. And this veteran was struggling with physical pain and with mental pain. And so as this veteran is like, and in our support groups, as you guys know, but listeners might not, you say whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You say whatever you want. Do it. Like, as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not going to hurt anybody, just have at it. And we're going to let
Express
you
yourself.
go. We're going to let you go. And nobody is going to bat an eye at whatever you say. I've heard people share all sorts of shit and like nobody bats an eye, which is amazing. So on this particular day, he was in so much physical pain and he was talking at like 100 miles an hour. And he gets up and every time somebody would talk, he would just like jump in and like he had to say something. He's very theatrical with his hand gestures. And then every time he would say something, we would look over and he was in a different part of the room, in a different position on a different piece of furniture, as if it was some like 90s Hanna-Barbera cartoon situation. and every time we look over, like at one point he was laying face down on the ground, like just talking into the carpet. And at this point I'm like, are you trying to make us fucking laugh right now? Because the thing is we don't judge. We try not to laugh. You do your best to not ever show any sort of emotion other than positive stuff if somebody's like sharing something. But I'm looking at Mel and I can see Mel is fucking clinging to life because she has seasoned experience because she's a professional. But even Melanie's like, I don't think I can fucking hold this in anymore. Just all over the place.
And my favorite part was that we just kept talking while his head was in the ground. Everyone just kept talking to him like it was normal. And
our group was here. He was over here just having his meltdown. And we're just like, carrying on. It's an amazing thing.
Positivity.
That is positive. You can't tell me that's not a supportive environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, you think about what you needed on your worst day and you try to be that for other people. And like Mel said, that put it really well. I was like, there are plenty of days where you feel like you don't have anything left in the tank. And then you see somebody else struggling that you care about. And then all of a sudden you get this like, all right, nope, I'm good. I'm good to help this person.
Yep.
Even though I feel tapped out right now, I still got a little bit more to do this, and that is something that I think comes back to you a bit. Obviously, exhaustion and burnout and stuff still, it's a constant juggling act, but you help yourself by helping others, but you also help others by helping yourself. So it's, a lot of give and take, I think. So we're going to talk about some mindset shifts now. So I want to talk about some common forms of self-talk according to that article on mayoclinic.org. So some common forms of negative self-talk that you could be doing. One is filtering. So if you magnify the negative aspects of a situation and filter out all the positive ones. For example, you had a great day at work, completed everything, got everything done you needed to get done super fast, did a thorough job. And then that evening you focused only on the plan to do even more and forget about the compliments that you might have received. So just filtering out all the good and just thinking about the bad. Personalizing. So when something bad occurs, you automatically blame yourself. For example, you hear that an evening out with friends is canceled and you assume that the change in plans is because no one wanted to be around you. Like I've done that. I personalize things. I think it's easy to do. When something doesn't go right and you're like, for a second, you're like, oh, fuck, it's because of me, isn't it?
Did I do that? Yeah.
Did I do that? Catastrophizing. You automatically anticipate the worst without facts that the worst will even happen. The drive-through coffee shop gets your order wrong, and then you think that the rest of your day will just be dog shit because they got your order wrong. Definitely a lot of, I don't think I do that, but I've definitely seen a lot of people do that. You know what I mean? Just making a mountain out of a molehill. Blaming. So you try to say someone else is responsible for what happened to you instead of yourself. You avoid being responsible for your thoughts and feelings. Saying that you should do something. So you think of all the things you should do and blame yourself for not doing them. Magnifying. You make a big deal out of minor problems. Perfectionism. Keeping impossible standards and trying to be more perfect sets yourself up for failure. And then polarizing. So you see things as only good or bad. There is no middle ground.
Black and white thinking.
I was going to say, which one of those do you think you guys do? Did any of those really stick out as something that you guys do?
I am over dramatic about things. I make things way worse than what they are.
Really?
Yeah. Especially like doctor's appointments. Like every time I go to the, I'm like, oh, gee, I'm going to go in there and watch. I'm going to need another surgery. Or like, I
don't feel like that's bad, but.
Are you being serious? Are you being sarcastic right now?
No.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Because a mistake happened when you were at the doctor and it caused you to lose your vision. So like I would understand why you would go to a doctor's appointment and be like, hey man, just want to make sure everybody knows what the fuck they're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like I get that. I don't personally think that that's being dramatic about something.
Oh, okay. Well then,
because that's logical to me.
Well then, nope. I'm just super positive. Yeah. None of those apply.
Fuck yeah. Everything's coming up, Brad. I think
that's me.
I know I'll filter out all the positives and focus on the negatives just because for me, I don't feel like the positives matter. I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just I'm focused on fixing, critiquing, improving, whatever. And so I can only do that with the negatives. There's nothing I need to do with the positives. I was doing that for a while, but now, and I also around the same time kind of learned how to just take a compliment where like I would just, if I would get a compliment or acknowledge or something, I would thank them. And then I would allow that positive affirmation to just sit with me for a second. Like, oh, that's nice. It's really nice. That's nice that these people said this, or I got this, or that this happened. I love that. That makes me feel good about myself. And it lets me know that what I'm doing is the right thing. I'm doing the right things because it's worth getting something like that. And that's really nice. And then, you allow yourself to feel that. And I feel like it's a contagious thing because then it feels great. And you're like, man, I want other people to feel this. So then you want other people to get recognized or get something or do well. You want them to succeed at whatever they're doing so they can feel as good as you feel. And it's just nice. That's a great thing that happens, I think, when you try to be positive. Anyway, that was my biggest one. Mel, did any of those stick out for you?
I definitely catastrophizing. Like I can spiral. So like if one thing goes wrong, like in my head, I'm like, oh, great. Now this, and this are going to go wrong the rest of the day. Like I preemptively already map it out. I've gotten better recently at like pausing and being like, okay, reset. This doesn't have to define the day, but historically I've been a big catastrophizer.
Yeah. I can see myself doing that sometimes too, I think. I don't know. So different techniques for reframing negative thoughts and situations. So like we talked about the different things that we've done. What techniques do you guys use to change whatever negative self-talk you were using? I mean, Brad, you're fucking doing great.
No, I'm going back to it, dude. Meditating. I can't speak highly enough about meditation.
Yeah.
I did it 3 times a day. And I know that seems like a lot, but it was 10 minutes, 3 times a day. And I would do the guided meditation. At the end, it would just play the music. And I would say the same, like 10 to 15 things. What I said earlier. I love myself. I am somebody who loves themselves. I'm somebody who makes healthy food choices. I'm somebody that goes to the gym. I'm somebody who spreads love and positivity. And I am somebody who loves unconditionally.
That's great.
And I just said to myself over and over every day, 3 times a day for like 5 minutes after the guided meditation.
Yeah.
So after I'm like fully relaxed, I was just on a beach in like Tahiti or something. I just tell myself this over and over again. It's just not out loud in my head. You can say it out loud if you want.
Yeah.
But it was just in my head.
Yeah. And
I genuinely feel I am that person that I told myself I was. I am that person.
That's beautiful. I love that.
And it just did. Yeah. So I think really jumping into meditation, and that really helps positive self-talk. Because look how people think it's such hard work to talk good about yourself. Look how easy you can be like, oh man, I hate myself. I suck.
That's so easy.
Right?
That's way easier than telling yourself you love yourself.
But it's not.
I know. It feels easier.
Yeah.
It feels so much easier.
Right?
It's just easier to shit on yourself.
Exactly.
Than to like give yourself credit for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but if you can have the mindset like, I could easily tell myself I hate myself, but I could easily tell myself that I love myself. But again, just start small. Start with and just say you are that person.
Yeah.
And then you become that person.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, you do have a bit of control, especially when it comes to aspects of your personality, character, like who you are. Like, yeah, you can change that. You know what I mean? What about you, Mel?
So when I catch myself with the negative inner dialogue, I try and pause and ask myself, like, what would you rather think or feel instead? Like, what's the flip side to this? So like, if I'm struggling that day, like, oh, I feel like I'm a garbage therapist, I'm not doing a good job, I'll be like, wait, no, you'd rather think that you're doing a good job. So start to think that, start to look at like what you're actually doing, take a step back. So just trying to like flip it into something more positive.
I think the aspect of understanding and being able to stop yourself in a situation is so important, because then, like you just said, you're going down this road and you're saying this negative stuff to yourself and you're like, wait a minute, stop. Like that ability to do that is so important.
Yes.
And you have to learn how to develop that, because that's something I feel myself actively doing right now that I really didn't feel like I've done at all in my life, is feeling myself having a reaction to something and then stopping myself and saying, whoa, no, I can stop myself. I can stop myself from reacting to this. And not only do I stop myself from reacting to it, I can actually genuinely change how I'm feeling. Like I can go from, oh, this is starting to bother me, with, you know what? I don't have to let this bother me. And that's like, for me, that's huge. That was huge to understand that you have that type of control over yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Marvel needs a new superhero.
What'd you say?
Positive Man.
Positive Man?
Positive Man. Think about it, dude. If there was a Marvel movie where there was just like super positive and this dude was just like, I mean, if there was like some action and people wanted to watch it, tell me the world wouldn't be a more positive place.
Only if it was, and I remember his name now, Jack McBrayer from Talladega Nights, that redhead. Only if he was Positive Man. And every time he needed to be positive, he said, well, we're still great friends. Like, as long as he said that every time,
yeah,
be like, hell yeah.
But dude, it sounds like a superpower for real. Like it just...
Only if there was also like a sarcastic superhero, like Sarcastic Man was like, yeah, Captain America, that's a great idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it'll be like the Justice League, or like the, what's the movie where they're like in their head, like the emotions?
Inside Out.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
Inside Out.
But like all the like silly superheroes that are just like everyday people, but like Positive Man and like Sarcastic Lad.
But side note, that is a great movie.
Yes.
Inside Out.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait for the second one to come out.
Me either. I'm excited.
Yeah, with anxiety. It's like, that's great. Okay, so some positive, here are some ways to behave in a more positive way. So, and this is according to the same article at mayoclinic.org. So, first thing, identify areas to change. If you want to be more optimistic and engage in more positive thinking, first, you have to identify the areas of your life that you think negatively about, whether it's work, your daily commute, life changes, or a relationship. You can start small by focusing on one area and then go in a more positive way. Think a positive thought to manage your stress instead of a negative one. Second one, check yourself. Love that one. Check yourself. Periodically during the day, stop and evaluate what you're thinking. If you find that your thoughts are mainly negative, try to find a way to put a positive spin on them. I like that. Just to stop yourself randomly and just do a little check on yourself. Like, where am I at mentally right now? How am I doing? What am I saying to myself? Be open to humor. Boom. Give yourself permission to smile or laugh, especially during difficult times. Seek humor in everyday happenings. When you can laugh at life, you feel less stressed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, if you were to ask Ashley, one of the things that she loves the most about our relationship, it's laugh. It's like making her laugh.
Oh, it's so fun to laugh with people.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially, it's something so cathartic, I don't know, about laughing with somebody in like or after a traumatic situation. Like you were talking about your memory with your friend. Like you remember that moment because of laughing, because of humor. Like how important is that? The next one, follow a healthy lifestyle. Aim to exercise for 30 minutes a day on most days of the week, or you can break it up into 5 to 10 minute chunks during the day. Exercise can positively affect mood, reduce stress. Follow a healthy diet to fuel your mind and body. Get enough sleep and learn techniques to manage stress. Next one, surround yourself with positive people like us. Make sure those in your life are positive, supportive people that you can depend on to give helpful advice and feedback. Negative people may increase your stress level and make you doubt your ability to manage stress in healthy ways. Yeah, like when I'm around negative people, it really does make me question myself.
I feel my body get tighter.
Yeah.
And like my brain drains quicker. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
like you just know you're getting yourself into a situation.
To be around people like that.
It really does suck your energy away from you when you're around negative people.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely feel a lot different when I'm dealing with somebody that's negative. Like being around positive people that do not judge you is just so much better.
It feels good.
Yeah. And last one is practicing positive self-talk. Start by following one simple rule. Don't say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to anyone else. I like that for most people. There's some people that definitely don't give a fuck. But for most people, yeah, don't say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to anyone else. I like that. Be gentle and encouraging with yourself. If a negative thought enters your mind, evaluate it rationally and respond with affirmations of what is good about you. Think about things that you're thankful for in your life. And I credit stoicism because for me and the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. He talks about like how you need to know the way broadly and see it in all things. And it helped me look at situations more positively. Like, for example, I've lost jobs before and I've never been fired, but the way that me exiting might not have been the greatest. I don't know how else to say it, but like I was always able to look at those situations in a positive way, understanding that just because this thing that I was doing is ended, it doesn't mean that it's not going to get better from here. It could get harder first and it might get a little more difficult at first, but it could get better after that. Like, I don't know that, you know what I mean? I have no idea what the universe has planned. You know what I mean? Like, things could get better. So I definitely think I do that and I'm trying to get better at it. So I definitely agree with that. What are some other books, podcasts, movies, any other forms of media that you guys turn to for positivity?
So I can say that growing up, like my environment wasn't the greatest. So I've always escaped into, lo and behold, the fantasy element. So that's like my go-to, like all the superhero movies, all the stuff with like dragons and different lands and universes. Like that's where I go to like feed into positivity and things that make me feel good.
I didn't think about that. That's a really good point. And it's really cool when I've never been to Comic-Con or anything like that. I've always wanted to go. But when like getting to watch groups of people do whatever it is that they are passionate about and just seeing them be happy about it is great.
Yep.
Like, how is that a negative thing, whether you're into it or not? I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like to see them all out. Like, I wish I had the time, energy, and skills to like build a costume half as ornate as the shit that I see whenever I see, clips from Comic-Con or pictures or anything, but like that's got to be a cool space. You know what I mean? What about you, Brad?
I like music, happy, positive. Usually reggae. I like island music. I usually go there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the name of the band. There's a song right now. It's like a reggae love song. It's called A Bowl for Two.
Yeah.
And it's just like, gonna pack
a weed bowl.
Yeah.
Aww.
For two.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm gonna pack this bowl for two. I am gonna wanna smoke it with you. It's really good.
Is that where you go when you're like, when you need something positive, you pull that one out?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. Is there anything else specific that you guys will go to? Do you have like a specific movie, book, song, YouTube clip, anything where you're like, I'm having a bad day, I need to go to this?
I like that End of the World short that we were talking about.
I was just about to say that. You remember that End of the World, where it's like a cartoon drawing? It's on YouTube or whatever, and there's just like, it goes to every country because they're gonna drop nukes on everybody, and it just
You've never seen the End of the World video?
No.
Dude, you need to watch it.
We're going to have to show it to you.
Yeah.
It's a YouTube video.
It's hilarious.
It's just called The End of the World.
It's just about
End
the
of
world
the world.
ending.
Yep.
End of the world.
And that's both of your positives because you both said that at the same time.
Dude, it's hilarious.
The best
All right.
video
It's
ever.
so
I'll
positive.
have to check it out
Fucking
for sure.
kangaroos.
All right, I'll check it out. All right. I don't know. Yeah. Other than that, is there anything else that you guys immediately go to that you can think of?
The Sandlot.
The movie?
Yep. No,
I have a picture with him on my phone.
Which one? Benny the Jet Rodriguez?
No,
What's his name?
Ham. The fat one. Right?
Oh,
The guy from
catcher.
American Pie that played Kevin. He was in the Sandlot too, wasn't he?
Guy. Yeah,
Maybe?
no, I think he
Or is
was
that
a
a
Rookie of
different
the Year.
actor?
Rookie of the
They're
Year.
all the same.
I know, Rookie of the Year. He played for the Chicago Cubs.
They're not the same.
with the
all
dude from
baseball
Home
movies.
Alone.
Yeah.
What's his name? Daniel Stern.
And who else was in that movie?
I don't-
The
it's
creepy
been-
guy. Not the creepy guy, but the guy who's like Gary Busey.
Was it Gary Busey?
Yeah.
I love him. I love him so
Yeah,
much.
he's a spirit animal.
Yeah.
Is what that man is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, Sandlot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Any of those movies.
Aw.
Watching movies from my childhood like that for sure brings some positive stuff up. I didn't even think about that. For me, it's going to the cabins, usually my family's cabins in Wisconsin.
Oh, I thought you said media.
Sorry. Yeah, I meant media, but now I'm like anything.
What brings
that you go to.
positivity?
Yeah. Anything
Oh, shit.
that
Then,
brings you positivity.
oh,
I think about going to the cabins a lot because that's where I would always go after my deployments. I would try to go. And I would just go up there to like zone out.
Yep.
And I have memories of my wife and I when we were early on into our relationship up there. I had amazing memories up there, like all throughout my childhood and my adult life. And that in and of itself, I go to a place like that and I just feel better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like things like that really help me feel positive. What?
maybe not so much this year, but Comiskey's that place for me
Yeah.
because that's like my dad. My dad and I would go to games and just like that's just my happy place. Just baseball in general, is like my happy place.
It's hard to not feel positive going to a baseball game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's just a cool thing. It feels cool, especially when you're with a group of people. Like we used to go and we would get a rooftop over at Wrigley. And like we would either do the rooftops or we would do like those rooftop bars.
Yeah.
And like half of the times I've been up there a bunch and half of the times I'd be up there, there'd be some kid and their parent, and they weren't sitting with us. And the parent would be like, oh, it's this kid's first time being at a baseball game. And you tell like 40 drunk adults that we start yelling at the umps. We start yelling at the staff. Oh, like get this kid a ball. And then every time the kid got the ball and you saw the biggest smile on their face and you're like, they're going to remember this forever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's awesome because I got to watch it in real fucking time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Other than that, anything else that you guys can think of that helps you feel positive?
For me, it's the beach, the ocean, water.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I'm near water, positivity is like there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That always feels good. Any sort of body of water, really. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me if it's like a river, a lake, a pond, ocean.
Some days a puddle.
I was gonna say a
like
Just a puddle on the ground. Yeah, that's in a pothole
It's great.
on the street. You're like, this is nice. This makes me feel positive. That's being positive.
Yep.
Anything else, Brad?
And then, not that I can think of right now.
The only other one I can think of too, some other things that you can do if you're looking for other ways to be positive. It's like, again, peer support groups, groups of any kind, organizations, nonprofits, volunteering.
Maybe not so much cults.
Probably not. Depends on the cult.
That's fair.
Like not all cults. Not all cults are that bad, right? There's got to be a couple of decent cults
I know.
that aren't so bad. Ashley, I told you about the Nicolas Cage cult, right?
You did.
Okay. Because that's still, we technically did a thing. Like we all came together and we all pitched in like $10-20 and we bought lunches for a bunch of nurses like early on into COVID. That was the one thing that our cult did. So it's like, we're official. At that point, you're official.
Yeah.
When you did a thing, we did a thing.
You did a
So I
thing.
was happy Nick Cage called, going strong. That was like 4 years ago.
Right.
Every once in a while, I'll send them all texts. I'm like, you guys didn't think I'd keep this shit going, did you? I'm here for the long haul. The longer a joke goes on for, the funnier it is to me, especially if I'm the only one that finds it funny. Like, then it's even funnier to me because of how unfunny it is for everybody else.
Yep.
Because I'm just fucking weird like that. So other than that, Melanie, I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate everything you do. So thank you very much. Brad, I think we did pretty good. You got anything else you want to share before we cut this out?
No, man. Don't worry. Be happy.
Boom. Heroes, Hogs, and Hot Rods will be done by the time this episode comes out. Stressing about that. We'll see how that goes.
But be great. Positive thinking. It's going to be great.
Positive. Don't cry. Okay. So thank you again. If you guys have any other ideas on how you stay positive and you're listening to this episode, feel free to share it with us. Go to our Facebook page, I'm F.I.N.E Podcast, or Project Headspace and Timing, or go to our website, projectheadspaceandtiming.org. Until then, thank you very much for liking, sharing, and subscribing this. And we hope that we helped you go from being freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional to being fine about actually sincerely being positive.